Yeah, what's good? It's your boy Whispy Woods. And in this video, you guys, this is basically somewhat of a pre-introduction to my walkthrough, and a lot of the things that we're going to look at in this series is a lot of the symbolisms that we've missed. And on top of the symbolisms, what we're going to do is take a big grasp of all of the cutscenes and mostly all of the things that we have theorized throughout the game, and we're going to put at least some of them to test, and we're going to uncover certain things that have always been in question. That being said, for the pre-show, we're going to somewhat have a look at cameras, and it has always been a known theory among at least half to 80% of the community to shoot out all of the cameras. This is something I've been meaning to touch on for a while. See it as it is the most common thing I've ever heard for a theory within the mystery. Have it, talk about the all-seeing eye and the Illuminati. Now, I understand, you guys, it's real easy once again to add certain physicalities to things that just make sense, and that's a big part of researching, but it's deeper than that, okay, and it's not as shallow. Now, this is me trying, okay, to shoot out all of the cameras. Now, throughout this gameplay, I'm going to show you every single reason why, and I'm going to explain why it's impossible, okay, for each camera in the game to shut off, okay. It is impossible for you to actually destroy every single camera. Aside from that, we're going to get down to a lot of the things that we've missed and that we've tied to certain symbolisms before. This is the camera, okay, in the first room of the Bobcat Bank. Alright, I knock these cameras out and also the camera televisions that are connected to them, just to be sure. But a few things I want you to pay attention to within this room, and that is red, gold, and green. Okay. Now, throughout the Epsilon Tract, we know that the red heads, okay, are unsavable. All right, literally and in figurative sense. Okay. Brad is unsavable. Literally, we cannot save him from dying.
Call it in!
Understand once again the peach, yellow, red. Even within Trevor's hat, they're showing the duality and inversion. Because once you flip this red, you get cyan, which is exactly why it covers most of Michael's body. Another aspect of this mystery that I want you to understand and that I will explain later on is dark green, okay? Trevor wears dark green in the first scene.
Alright, we gonna do this? Huh? Show me the money! Slow and steady, T. Slow and steady.
I take out this camera, and then I take out that camera.
Come on!
Then I take out that camera. Understand, I have taken out all of the cameras so far in the game.
score.
Another thing I
Remember,
want you to
just
pay
the
attention to
non-sequential
is
bills.
how much money that Michael gains. And that is 2,500. Okay. Now the reason why I'm pointing that out is for a future video when we start to understand the aspects of numbers. I take out this camera.
There's enough here for us all to enjoy. Depends on how you look at it. Come on, move it.
And then for some reason, you guys, the camera that I just shot respawned. Okay, now I want you to understand what I mean about this. How is it possible to shoot out all of the cameras in the game if they respawn right after you do something? I want you to understand what I mean about this, you guys. Pay attention.
Give it up! I got him! I saw your face.
We'll get back to this. But first, I want you to understand what I mean about these cameras. After shooting that man, the cameras from the hallway I just walked through are back. They've respawned. Okay, so for those of you who honestly think that it's possible to shoot out these cameras and every single one of them in the game, sorry, doesn't make sense. You know why? Because for me to be able to shoot out every camera right after that man dies, I would have to be able to go back into the last room, which is impossible. I like to believe in impossible dreams, but that is just, it won't work. Sorry. Now, let's back up a bit and go back to that scene with Michael. Because this is a turning point. This is a decision point. And this is a point in the game where they give you an option to still be Michael and be bad, or understand that Michael's not necessarily a killer. Pay attention.
Coming out, B! Give it up! I got him!
He grabs
I
Michael.
saw your face, I'll remember you. You forget 1,000 things every day. How about you make sure this is one of them? I've seen his eyes! He's crazy!
I've seen his eyes. He's crazy. Why would he mention his eyes? I mean, it makes sense to say his face if he's getting robbed, but in a game so infused with Illuminati things and aspects of perception and eyes, it's very interesting that he would mention that. They give you an option
I'll try to make this painless. No one's
that cannot continue unless you choose Trevor. Not only are they teaching you the aspect of harmony and the aspects of the Trinity unfolding, okay, be it that they are connected, all right? Not only are they introducing this, but this is a point in the game, okay, especially the first mission, where they give you a option, okay, to be bad or to be good, depending on what choices you make as certain people. Let me explain.
I think. Be cool. That's right, pal. I'm fucking. Fuck. You didn't have to
So
do that.
I shoot him
Let's
as
get going.
Trevor,
There'll be time for grieving later. Yeah, you got that right.
and I continue the mission. Go postal. Remember that. It will be in a future episode.
I'm setting the charges. They're on a timer, so brace yourselves. Oh, fuck, you hear that? Sirens. Fuck the cops. T, hit the shutter switch.
Notice how Brad is the one who says fuck the cops. And we know Trevor to say fuck pigs. And what do we know pigs to be? Redemption. They both say fuck redemption. Unsavables. Now, I want you to pay attention to something here. Okay? As crimes, okay? As Trevor, I want you to understand, so far I've killed no one. Technically, I've only killed one person, okay? And he was not a cop, he was a security guard. Okay? Which is exactly why it says kills since last checkpoint, okay? So far, Trevor has one kill. Pay attention. Now I am Michael and realize that I have killed no one yet, because the game has not given the option to the player, okay? Not the NPC of Michael, but the player of Michael, and the one who is making the decisions.
Wrong profession! Dumb fucking cops! Get down!
Now, pay attention. Michael is shooting his ass off, okay? We all know throughout the story that Michael is in cahoots with the authorities in order to fake his death and so on and so forth, and that's why Trevor is angry at him, okay? Now, if Michael is closely tied with the aspects of law enforcement, we know law enforcement to be tied with redemption, it makes sense that to redeem someone of their sins is something that Michael is tied to. As we see, Michael is clearly shooting, okay? He's clearly shooting, but he's not killing anyone, and I will bring more proof to this later. As we continue, one of the main things I want to make note to when it comes to Trevor, headshots are very important, and it could be in a duality of understanding where to cut someone's head, or the aspects of decapitation. It kind of plays within wordplay of a headshot, or things that have to do with death and the head of the Antichrist, and or Medusa.
I ain't laying down for them. Move! We're coming through!
So as you see, most of my aspects with Trevor, I'm trying to get headshots because I feel as though that is very important within the path. Now, I continue this on for a while, and I'm not going to bore you too much with the small things like getting headshots, because we all know that people can do that. This isn't, about proving how much I can shoot or any of that shit. I want you to understand the symbolism. Now, there's a reason right there that he said ba 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 ba. Okay, now watch.
Woo! Did you see that shit? Fucking put that bitch's face against the glass. Did you see that? Yeah, you're a real stout. Real stout.
He said,
Yeah, you're a real stout.
okay, now, the reason why Trevor says blah 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 like that, okay, is from one of the starts of the Antichrist, and that is the Tower of Babel. Babylon. Think about it. The Tower of Babel was, within a brief story, was a tower created by sinners in order to reach the heavens, a stairway to heaven. Now, God, all right, when he saw that this was an actual thing, what he did was create different languages to segregate different nations so that they could not complete this stairway. Now, the Tower of Babel is a big representation of sin and all forms of that sin within the Antichrist, and why he says blah 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 blah, gibberish, speaking in tongues. It's a very pinnacle part of possession. The driver gets a headshot, and then Michael has a stain of red on his face. Could it be Krant? Who knows? Now, understand, within the cutscene, Michael vehicularly killed someone, but that does not mean that it dictates what you do within your game and the choices that you make. It doesn't make Michael a bad person. Now pay attention. This was the earliest, and I mean the earliest, proof to my point about the eye and what the eye was about. Perception, the bird, the helicopter, and all of the above, and you're going to hear it.
Come on, let's get to the chopper.
The chopper.
We move quick, we can beat the train. We're getting there. Cops, coming our way. Be cool. We ain't made this car yet. Man, I'll believe in this bird when I get eyes on it.
He said, I'll believe in this bird when I lay my eyes on it. Come on, you guys.
Shit! Roadblock! Go right! Beat the train, man! Jesus! You guys all right? Fuck! Come on! Ditch the car, all right? We can go this way to the chopper. No! Hey! Stick to the plan. What? Stick to the fucking plan. Come on.
That was a very distilled shot with Michael and the horizon behind him.
Where the fuck's the chopper? Fuck. I'm gonna check around back. Ah! Oh, the fucking bed! Someone must have fucking talked! Alright, Brad's gonna be fine. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Fuck! I'm hit! Oh, Jesus! Key, you gotta get out of here! I'm gonna leave you, Mikey! Go! God, I'm not gonna be... I'm fucking gonna bleed out. Go! No! Motherfuckers!
So now, Trevor's angry, and we are faced off with a bunch of cops, and then he wanders off into the pasture like a lone wolf. Now, after this scene, it's pretty interesting. And remember what I said about Trevor and how he wears the dark green. In this scene, we see Michael, and he's wearing olive green, okay? Olive green is an aspect of green that is good and tied to peace. And I will show you. Green is the color of nature, okay? It symbolizes growth, harmony, freshness, and fertility, okay? Now, dark green, commonly associated with money. Dark green is associated with ambition, greed, and jealousy, Okay? Olive green is the traditional color of peace. And as we continue from the colors,
but we know that you will show mercy to our friends.
now understand what the priest just said.
We die in this, Michael, is like anybody else. Father, we do not know your infinite mysteries, but we know that you will show mercy to our friends.
We do not know your infinite mysteries. Why else would he say that? Now, the next scene here is with Michael. Now, this is one of the earliest scenes of the biblical aspects of the game that we were supposed to catch right from the beginning. And when they said it was right in front of our eyes, they weren't playing, you guys. If you ever had a doubt to what I was saying about fishes, boats, horses, or any of that tied to Michael, then I'm sorry, but I hate being right sometimes.
Your son, James. He's a good kid.
He's a good kid? A good kid. Why? Does he help the...
His son, James. Throughout the mystery, what is one of the main keys that I have shown throughout a lot of my videos that have tied connections? The King James version of the Bible. His son's name is not Jimmy, it's James.
Or? No. He sits on his ass all day, smoking dope and jerking off while he plays that fucking game. If that's our standard for goodness, no wonder this country's screwed.
And what about you?
Fishes.
What about me? Hey. I didn't have the advantages that kid has. By the time I was his age, I'd already been in prison twice. I robbed banks. I ran whores. I smuggled dope.
And you consider them achievements?
These were the opportunities I had. At least I took them.
And where did these opportunities get you, Michael?
They got me right fucking here.
I'm sorry, you guys, but it's too apparent that not only are they trying to make references with the Jesus fish and Michael here, but
The end of the
also
road.
making references toward the aspects of a horse. And if you didn't catch it, it is right here.
And you consider...
And as you see, the horse was something that we were supposed to pay attention to ever since the beginning of the game. We just did not care. One more thing I do want to show you is an aspect of Franklin and the cracked egg, and how not only do we know that it's tied to him directly within one duality, but it's tied to an aspect of choices and how Franklin reacts to those choices. Okay, so now we're looking at the introduction scenes of Grand Theft Auto. And the first thing I want to show you is the aspects of a dog and a peach, nature. Okay. Another thing that I want to show you is the coil. Okay. We will be understanding certain aspects of why there's a coil. And if you're thinking just Nikola Tesla, that's thinking a bit shallowly compared to what the coil can really represent, and why it's not necessarily a coil but can be called a spiral and other things. Now as we move on and we start the game off with Franklin, notice that Lamar's shirt is olive green. Peace.
Actually, yeah. It's that house right there with the yellow stairs.
Yeah, good looking out, homie. Appreciate it.
Man, get your stupid ass on. Damn. Why don't you ask him if he knows the fuck?
Now, it's pretty interesting within the Epsilon tract, you guys, that they talk about the Earth partner and how a new Earth partner must be formed, okay? But from cactus and the thorn bush. Think about it.
Been not right here. Your boy Simeon wasn't bullshit. Your boy Simeon wasn't bullshit.
Like I said,
Get your ass in me.
the cutscenes are only deliberately shown in a specific way to teach you things.
Bring your ass, fool. Always trying to boss somebody. Come on.
Now, before I show you kind of an aspect of the game that I think is honestly one of the major keys, I really want, a lot of people to understand that, yes, this is probably something that a lot of people have thought of, but we are making a lot more sense to them here. This isn't about just claiming the find. It's not about that, okay? It's more about understanding the find. One person can understand something and just say it, but do you know why you're saying it? You need to understand it before you put it to use. Now that we understand certain aspects of wordplay, we can use them.
Damn, this nigga must got the baby dick.
Now, he said, damn, this nigga must have the baby dick. You guys, what is a baby dick represented in GTA? Is it just a penis? Or is it a cock? Or what is a cock but a rooster? And what is a rooster but a bird? A baby bird sounds a lot like a cracked egg.
Yeah, and all.
Now, I want you to understand, I believe that these cars are the choices of which you are going to make the game split into, whether bad or good. And it has a lot to do with the reaction of the choice, which is why Lamar gives you a long option. Notice how the red option, which could be represented as the red spectrum, which is power, okay? What have we needed to do to the space docker? Power it. And then there's also an aspect of 3 a.m. within the license plate. I haven't deciphered the other license plate just yet, but white can be an aspect of purity, and or possibly the white horse that Jesus rides on. Now, one thing that's pretty interesting too is that this specific car, the red one, is called the douchebag. And I don't know about you, but a douchebag doesn't sound like something you want to be. It sounds like, an asshole or, a really fucked up person in general. Now, I feel as though choosing certain aspects of the game can send your spectrum into the right spectrum. And why 88 has a lot to do with the game. Now, I did this mission for a while. The first time I did the mission, I did it in the good spectrum of the game and tried to get 100%. Now, 100% might not be exactly what we're aiming for here, because as I've mentioned before, the aspects of the Antichrist, okay, when thinking of the Antichrist, the body of the Antichrist is held by a golden head, a silver body, okay? And legs of iron and a waist of brass. Now, understand, it's pretty interesting once again that we have game medals that tell us if we are going to have a gold mission, a bronze mission, or a silver mission. All the colors of the Antichrist. Okay. Now, understanding this can be one aspect of duality. Okay. 88 can be a trigger and or specific number that teaches us and shows us that we are possibly in the right spectrum of karma and the game, depending on what side you choose. For this specific playthrough, you guys, I chose the evil one, which is why I chose to continue the game with Trevor, and I chose the red car with Franklin. Now, something that is significant with these choices, if my theory is right about the evil spectrum, is what I got at the end of the mission. So after racing Lamar for a while, and I really did my hardest not to hit these damn aliens.
What the fuck? Oh, we filming shit here, huh?
As it's one of the many achievements, and the achievements are very significant with not only wordplay, but they're significant with things that send the game off in certain spectrums of the numbers, which is why in my next few episodes I should be getting into a lot of aspects of numbers and why they're significant. But the aspects of the cops and red and blue and all these colors are all conforming to teach us things. Now, understand, it's pretty interesting that not only does this car represent the douchebag, but the white one is an obey. And what do you do for God? You obey him.
Whatever, nigga. I'll let something flow through your ass.
Dog, I ain't too sure that joke works, dog.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit, the one time.
Be cool, fool.
So, now that we're done talking about Lamar, check it out. Basically, after completing the mission in the swiftest way possible that I could, avoiding the cops, and I got off as quick as I possibly could, you guys, and I make that very clear when it comes to this walkthrough, that I think that that is very significant when it comes to aspects of speed. After avoiding them, the mission concludes. Notice how James and or Jimmy is wearing the brass color. And not saying that Jimmy is evil, but he does do some pretty fucked up shit. And he can be a duality of possibly good and possibly evil, depending on maybe the game's aspects of color spectrums and when they show us these certain spectrums. Now, after going back to Lamar and Franklin's neighborhood, I park the car and I end the mission. Now, the first thing that's pretty interesting is that from the very beginning of my game on this spectrum, whether any spectrum I believe, Gordon Moorhead is playing. And this Gordon Moorhead episode I've not only mentioned, but I'm going to mention in my next episode for something specific.
Oh,
Shoo! Get on out of here. Okay, baby. I'll see you at the thing. You hear? I was on the...
So after the little tutorial, it saves. And my point about this, you guys, okay, is we have to understand why they're telling us aspects of 88, why 88 can be an aspect of a mirrored 8, why 8 can be an aspect of infinity, and why 8, okay, is tied to a killer, evil things, the peach, and so on. Not to mention that Franklin was born in 1988. Now, what I mean by this is that it's very interesting that they give us these very odd number completions. They could easily put 85% or even 89%. But in a game so focused on aspects of gold and silver, we got a gold on the prelude and a silver for the next mission. And we got 88. And I believe this is exactly why they give you a reason, okay? They give you a reason not only to replay missions, but they give you a reason to fuck up on some things, whereas some things can counter those percentages to make them 100% and so on. Now, it's pretty odd, okay? Not saying that this is the exact thing that triggered it, but it's pretty odd that the one thing that I did not do to get the silver 88 was not be a focused driver, and that was using his special ability for 7 seconds. 7 is a number for God. Now, if I'm not showing the aspect of 7 and God, when I'm excluding all of those godly things, and I'm just showing aspects of physicalities possibly tied to playing God, it might be the evil spectrum of karma, and it might be tied to 88. Blue. Blue is the color of the sky and sea. It symbolizes trust, confidence, wisdom, intelligence, faith, truth. Yellow, sunshine. When you invert, you see the truth, you see the blue. When you see aspects of red, red is associated with fire and blood, okay? So it is associated with energy, war, danger, strength, and power. Power, energy, determination, as well as passion, desire, and love. So understand, evil is fire and blood. Good is love. But that is only when you invert it to see the truth. And you see the epsilon blue and the sea. But aspects of evil within a neutral standpoint, when it comes to Franklin, can be tied to energy and power, possibly powering the Space Stalker. And just like I said from the beginning, you guys, it's very interesting that Michael was shooting his ass off in the prelude. He was shooting at a bunch of cops. We saw that, okay, with your own eyes. But once again, I don't believe that that's what's implied for people to do. It's just there to give a choice, an option, okay? It's why they force you in the hands of Trevor and they tell you, you must shoot with Trevor. There's a reason for all of these things, okay? as you see, for combat, we have kills. With Franklin, I have 0 because I haven't killed anyone yet at all. Now with Trevor, for kills, I have 29. Okay, 29 kills. Now, I want you to look at Michael. 0. He shot 137 times, you guys. 137 times. And killed no one. Meaning, the game is implying him not to kill anyone. And there's also an implication to why there would be such a thing as a separation between hits and or damage from bullets and kills. Why would there be a separation if there wasn't a way for Michael to just hit them to damage them and or self-defense? But a kill is something completely different. Even in Franklin's aunt's room, you guys, there was clues the entire time, from the sun possibly being evil or being praised to the seeing, okay? The seeing and the dove. It has always been there. Even the aspects of hearts and the trinities and eyes surround around the sun. Even dreams.
Yeah, what's good? It's your boy, Whispy'S. In this video, you guys, we're basically getting into a continuation of our last episode of our pre-walkthrough. And kind of in keeping with a lot of the symbolisms that we've learned over the time, you know, given the wordplay and a lot of the aspects of segregating and rearranging, we can already gain some clues, and that starts with the third mission. In the last video, I showed you a big aspect of Franklin and Lamar's mission and the prelude. Now, one thing that I want to make very clear is that repossession. Now, it's very interesting that they make Franklin somewhat of a repo man, but he definitely has control over the tow trucks given his missions with a few of his NPC friends. Now, given with wordplay, we can already segregate something, and that is possession. Now, possession also ties into dualities. Dualities of something physical as a possession, something you hold, and something that you worship. Almost like a false idol, like a golden calf. But when you take into the effect of 6 and how it represents aspects of evil, we can understand certain things like the time in which the mission is supposed to be completed, how many headshots you are supposed to get, 6, and the aspect of God with accuracy at least 70%, 7. This could be the aspect that we are supposed to either avoid or possibly do another thought process toward 88% of accuracy. There are still certain aspects that we are not necessarily clear on, but this is what we're here to find out and understand.